Hi guys. So welcome to your first instructional video for the 2021 school year. As a reminder, I'm going to recommend that you guys take notes on these for multiple reasons. One, to keep you focused and engaged and to help you remember and process things. This should just be review. You should have been solving equations back in Algebra 1 and in geometry and stuff, so this should not be anything new. Um, but just as a reminder of when solving equations, just regular linear equations, the goal is to isolate the variable. Basically, you want to get the variable all on one side, all of the regular numbers or constants to the other side, and then get the variable all the way by itself. So I'm going to recommend when solving, just to help keep yourself organized, to draw a line down the equal sign. Mainly because in algebra, we have to keep both sides of the equal sign balanced. So whatever we do on one, we have to do on the other. Now, notice how there's like two numbers over here on the left side. And maybe somebody will be like, well, I don't know where to start solving. Always simplify before you solve. If you can combine like terms before doing that are on the same side of the equal sign, do that first. So I'm just going to bring down the negative 7m. Remember that a minus and a negative are essentially the same thing. And then I'm going to combine 1 minus 4 is negative 3. I'll bring down my 4. So now I want to start isolating the variable. Generally, what we do when solving is reverse order of operations. But one way to think of it is you're just getting rid of the numbers that are further away from the variable first, if that helps. So the 7 is like right touching it. So I'm going to get rid of that negative 3. So the opposite of minus is plus. So I'm going to add 3 to this side. Now, if I add it to one side, I have to add it to the other. So I'm going to add 3 over here too. On this side, it cancels out. And on the right side, I'm just going to add. The negative 7m just comes down. It's supposed to be an arrow. Sorry. Anyway, so now what that technically means is negative 7 times n. So whenever you've got a coefficient touching a variable, to get rid of it, you divide. Make sure with negatives you remember to divide by the negative, because people always forget that. But anyway, those cancel. M comes down and you get negative 1. And hey, look, the m is by itself. We did our job. Yay, super awesome. Isn't solving fun? It's so exciting. Bet you all are just sitting there at your computers being like, wow, never knew math was so fun. Or maybe you did because this isn't new and it's review. You're like, I'm so excited I get to solve equations. That's my dream. Everybody having fun solving. Anyway, moving on. So once again, you're going to want to simplify before you solve, obviously. Now, just remember, you're looking at the things on each side of the equal sign. So like, I'm going to simplify the stuff on the left first. So there's only one x, so I'm just going to bring down my 8x. And then I'm going to combine the 1 minus 6 to give me negative 5. On the other side, still only 1x. But then I'm going to combine negative 14 plus 1 plus 4. N. It's supposed to be an x. Add those all together, and you get negative 9. So in this one, I've got variables on both sides. So I want to move them over to be on the same side. I generally move variables to the left just because it's a habit I've done, but it does not matter which side you move it to. You could subtract 8x from both sides, or you could subtract 7x from both sides. Whatever you want to do. It's all like, what's it called? Dealer's choice. So I'm going to subtract 7x because I've always just moved them to the left. Old habits die hard, I suppose. Anyway, so these cancel. This becomes 1x, or just x, and bring down the negative 5, bring down the negative 9. Okay. So now I want to get the x by itself, so I have to get rid of that negative 5. So the opposite of negative 5 is plus 5. So these cancel. And then I get, hey, look, x is -4. We figured it out. We're geniuses. Wow. So amazing. But anyway, so there you go. I've got a couple more examples. So this one has some distributing required. So once again, simplify before you solve. You don't, you're just going to confuse yourself. Always just take it one step at a time. You know, it's kind of like a logical process of just doing logical steps. I don't know. Anyway, words are not my strong suit. Always draw a line down the equal sign. It just helps keep you organized. People sometimes don't want to do it. I recommend it. Then, so to get rid of the parentheses, I'm going to distribute the 7. Basically, that means multiply everything inside the parentheses by 7. So I'm going to get 7 plus 56 n. Bring down that -8. Bring down the -225. Now I'm going to combine like terms on the left. So I've got -1 plus 56n equals -225. So now I have to start solving. So everything's as simple as it can be. So I'm going to start trying to get n by itself. So I'm going to start by getting rid of the -1 because it's further away. So that's why I start with it. Reverse order of operations. Do the add and subtracting first. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides so that these cancel. And I will get 56n equals -224. Then to get n all the way by itself, I have to divide by 56 because we're always doing the opposite. The opposite operation, or inverse operation is another word for that. So these cancel, and I'm left with n by itself, and -224 divided by 56 is -4. Hey, n was -4 the last time too. Funny when that happens. Anyway, so another example. This one I wanted to do because there's something, when you have parentheses with a negative or like a minus in front of it, you have to treat that minus as if it's a -1. Technically, it's called distributing the negative, but it's basically like multiplying everything inside the parentheses by -1. So, draw my line, stay organized. I'm going to bring down the 6b, and then I'm going to multiply everything by -1. So that becomes -3b, and that becomes +3. And the other side, they're just going to come down. So I want to combine like terms wherever I can. Just remember, only combine like terms if they're on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to get 3v plus 3 equals -3 plus 2b. So now, once again, I've got to get my variables on the same side, numbers on the other side. So just for fun, let's go the other way. Last time we went to the left, this time we're going to the right. So I want to get rid of my 3v on the left side. So I'm going to subtract 3v on both sides. Be careful that when you're doing this, you keep like terms with like terms. Like if I'm subtracting a v, it can only go with another v. So those cancel. Bring down my 3. -3, and 2v minus 3v is -1v, or just -v, whatever. So now I want to get the variable by itself, so I'm going to get rid of that -3 because it's further away, reverse order of operations. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and I'm going to get 6 equals -1v. So now just to get rid of, oh no. Okay, so now to get rid of the coefficient, the number, the -1, I divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1, and 6 divided by -1 is just -6. So V equals -6. Oops, can't see it because the video's in the way. Whoops, it. There we go. Yay! So I only have one more example. So this one just has some distributing on both sides, and but essentially it's always going to be the same process: simplify, then solve, one step at a time. If you take it one step at a time and don't try and do too much all at once, you'll be fine. I can't draw the line. There we go. So first thing I'm going to do is distribute. So on this side, I'm going to multiply everything by 7. The 6 just comes down because it has nothing to do with what's going on over there. So 7 times 4 is 28. Don't forget to bring down the A. 7 times -2 is -14. On this side, I have to multiply everything by -4. So just remember that negative does matter. So -4 times 8 is -32. -4 times 2 is -8. So on the left side, I can combine like terms, so I definitely want to do that before I solve, otherwise it gets a little confusing. So 6 minus 14 is -8. So I have 28a minus 8 equals -32a minus 8. So now I'm going to get my variables on the same side. I like going to the left, so let's do that again. So to get rid of a -32a, I am going to add 32a to both sides. So plus 32a plus 32a. This side, it cancels out. Add those together and I get 60. And I'm going to bring down my -8 there and my -8 there. So now I've got to start getting the variable by itself. So I'm going to get rid of that -8 by adding 8 to both sides. These cancel, so I bring down 60a. Sorry, my cat's meowing. So then -8 plus 8 is just 0. That's why they canceled over there, because it's just 0. Your answer can be 0. That is the thing. So then to get a all the way by itself, just divide by 60. Those cancel. 0 divided by anything is 0, because if you have 0 stuff, you divide it into however many groups, you still got nothing. Anyway, so that's just a refresher of solving equations. Hopefully you guys remember it, but you know, it's the beginning of the school year. Gotta shake the summer out of your brain. Start trying to remember how to do stuff. So anyway, don't forget that we will, during our Google Meet, we're gonna be doing some live practice. And then you'll have some individual practice that you'll do on your own. So look forward to seeing you then.